We only have one game to do this week, though, so we can talk about a lot of things about Super Bowl 58.
Yep.
The 49ers are still favored by 2 in this one.
It's interesting, right?
It moves so much right away. Like it was 49ers initially 2.5, then it was down to 49ers -1, then it went to 1.5. It stayed at 2 pretty much the last 8 or 9 days. I still don't know why the Chiefs are underdogs. I don't get it.
Well, as we know from gambling, right, I do think it's where the money is. And even though more people are betting on the Chiefs to win, the big money people are in on the Niners. I think that's the bottom line of the situation, right? That's where it is. Because I've yet to really – I don't know if I've really talked to anybody yet that totally can talk themselves into believing the San Francisco 49ers can win the game this weekend. Like, does anybody here think that the 49ers can win the game this weekend? Does anybody? Okay.
Yeah, we got some 49ers fans.
All right.
What about the Chiefs? Who believes in the Chiefs?
How about the Chiefs?
Who
What we
believes
got
in
here?
the Chiefs?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most football people I talk to, and this is no disrespect to the 49ers. You guys know, if you know me, I love the 49ers. I'm rooting for the 49ers, all right? It's out there. I am rooting for the 49ers. But I don't talk to a football person, a player we had on the show yet, anything where they go, yeah, I think the 49ers are going to win the game, right? We haven't really come across that yet.
Well, because it was just a year ago that people were saying, oh, the Eagles are the better team. The Eagles are going to win the game. And what were we saying? They don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So we know what the value is. And I think everybody understands if you have Patrick Mahomes, you can be down 10 points with 7 minutes left. You can be down 10 points in the second half like they were last year. At any point, the switch goes and Patrick Mahomes takes over. And we've seen it enough times now to not expect it to make an appearance. And he's also so aware of his legacy. He needs 5 more Super Bowl wins to catch Tom Brady, and that sounds like a lot, but he's got 2. He could have a couple more that already might have happened, but for weird little things that occurred. And this is his chance to get to number 3.
Yeah.
And I don't see him. We're going to make our picks later, but it's hard to envision him giving up that chance.
That's your bottom line thing there. Right.
That's why I'm surprised they're underdogs. And I don't know why the big money people are so believing in the 49ers to the point where there's enough money out there that keeps that line at -2.
Yeah, well, here's one point, just to for conversation's sake, right? I think you heard me say this in the last few days. I will say to our people out here who are rooting for the 49ers, right? The 49ers at their best are better than the Chiefs at their best. That I do know. You didn't go on a rant in the end of November and early December
Christmas,
a bunch of times, right, with the Ravens, but you'd already been on that rant that it was kind of like, it's over. And I'm not
as long as they keep their key players healthy, it's over.
I'm not trying to be a jerk
I
with
believed
you.
it. No, I know. You're right.
Because I was with you, so I'm not even trying to put you on blast. I'm just saying, but that's my point with this. Can the 49ers get back to that? I don't know. Hasn't looked good so far, right? The last 2 weeks, they haven't played very good. They got outplayed by the Packers, really. Jordan Love made 2 dumb interceptions. They missed the easy field goal, right? Last week, the Lions, right? Dan Campbell, that was stupid decisions, period. In my opinion, that's not how you win NFC championship game football. And the 49ers, for the most part, were on the ropes most of the night. And so that's where it's a little weird. Can they regain that in a 2-week period?
Up until the Christmas night game against the Ravens.
Right.
We believed as long as the key players on the 49ers were healthy, which was not a given because of the way they play, they were unstoppable.
Right.
That it wasn't even going to be close.
Right.
That no one was going to have a chance at them.
Yes.
They got humiliated that night. I got humiliated that night. I got called Mike Florist that night by Lamar Jackson. Thanks, Lamar.
Yes, Lamar.
And
yes.
ever since
MVP.
ever since that, the 49ers have just been treading water. They've never really ascended.
Right.
The Chiefs, embarrassed on that same day, at home by the Raiders, they started going up.
The opposite
and they keep going up, and they keep going up. And the 49ers just kind of like, Where are we?
Right.
And you got to give them credit for coming from behind and winning
Right.
a couple of playoff games at home, but they never should have been in that situation.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been down 17 to the Lions.
Right.
They shouldn't have been in a close game against the Packers. They're the better team. And that's what it comes down to.
They blew
they're
a lot
the
of
better
games.
team, but they're not
Right.
playing better.
Right.
And that, I guess, would be my fear if I'm the Chiefs.
Well, right.
That at some point in the last 2 weeks, they've said the right thing, they've done the right thing, they've figured something out where they get back to being that team that just goes out there and steamrolls everyone.
Well, yes. I look at it exactly that same way. It's still amazing to me. You know, you've heard me say that. The fact that they've gone from a B-minus football team all year to all of a sudden we're going to snap our fingers on Christmas Day, get our butts whooped and killed, while everybody's watching, and all of a sudden we're going to get into playoff mode and start winning and playing perfect. It's a rare story. Only a special team can do that. My only thing that I even look at negatively of the Chiefs at all possible in this game is that maybe they take it a hair lightly. Honestly, right? The Chiefs are not going to be in awe of the Super Bowl. Mahomes is aware of the legacy, but I also do look at it like they've been such the villain by so much the last few weeks and on the road. And I also think the Mahomes factor of being like scared of losing to Josh Allen or losing to Lamar also adds motivation to their football team because he knows that's legacy thing, right? And that would be my only thing that could creep into their mind is we did all that. The Ravens kicked the shit out of the 49ers. We just went into Baltimore and did this to them, right? So that would be my only fear of Kansas City slipping mentally.
Something we say all the time about the
right.
Chiefs. They tend to play with their food. They get complacent.
Exactly
they think that it's going to be easy, and the next thing they know, they find themselves in a game that they inevitably lose.
Right.
But this is the Super Bowl. That's the one thing that changes it. If it's a regular season game, if it's a playoff game and you're up 21-3 against the Bengals and you start screwing around and you lose it, this is the Super Bowl. This is the chance for Mahomes to take it from 2 to 3, and I think that's what makes it different.
You're right about that.
If the 49ers pull it off, and it's so big for the legacy of Kyle Shanahan, your good friend, you have his initials tattooed on your leg.
Yeah.
And he's got yours on his. And
it's
Brock
awesome
Purdy,
and embarrassing all in one thing.
And Brock Purdy trying to establish himself, beating Patrick Mahomes in his second year in the Super Bowl makes Brock Purdy not one of the all-time greats, but one of the greats right now. It vaults him into the top 7 if he wins this game, maybe into the top 5 if he wins this game. So there's a lot riding on this for the 49ers.
Agreed. I mean, there's really everything football-wise as far as perception for Shanahan is on the line in this game. And that's where I get nervous for my friend, who I think is one of the best coaches in football. And yet, sometimes it's like what you worry about is a little of a conversation we had the other day where here, right, in America, Birmingham, you might not totally understand this, but like in the Jordan era, there was like Karl Malone, and he was the man and like one of the best basketball players. And like, it didn't matter. You couldn't overcome Jordan, and that's a little bit where we are with Mahomes.
There's going to be a lot of great quarterbacks who don't get rings because of Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes is going to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up in an era like that with Joe Montana, and I hated Joe Montana for that for a lot of my childhood.
The spread is less than a field goal in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. We were looking at this earlier, and we were trying to remember which Super Bowl had a spread of more than a field goal out of the last 6.
I can remember.
Do you remember which one?
The Chiefs 49ers. 31-20. Oddly enough, they were down by 10 points.
The spread.
Oh, excuse me. The spread. Sorry.
Going into the game.
Right.
Pete, in which game was the spread more than a field goal out of the last 6? Pete's looking it up. Pete knows it's 5 or 6. He just doesn't know which one.
How do you?
Come on, Pete.
This is Pete Dimmalilitis. How do you put that on a sheet and not give us the answers? The real question of that right there. I don't know.
Come on, Pete.
Look at that.
Usually Pete's not around when we call him out. There he is right there. Blame him. It's Pete's fault. How about some Chiefs stats here? Andy Reid is 11-2 when coming off of extended rest with Mahomes as his starter. The 2 losses were Super Bowl 45 against the Buccaneers and Week 11 this season against the Eagles. And I remember us saying when we picked the Chiefs to beat the Eagles, you give Andy Reid extra time, it's a no-brainer.
There's 2 things that make the Chiefs dangerous when they have rest. That what you just talked about there, right, with Andy Reid, the genius of his coaching, the creativity and all that. And the other thing that we hit on a little bit with the Chiefs that gets overlooked all the time, right? You give them a little rest. They got, like the 49ers, they have the scouting eye for, sorry to our people here at Mandalay Bay and BetMGM and everything here. Some crazy, right? They got crazy dudes that will put it on the line. They will. That's period. End of the line.
Roll out of bed and run through a wall.
Right,
and not
just
think
like
twice
the
about
Ravens
it.
were the big bad team last week, right? The Ravens. And, all of a sudden the Chiefs go in there. Hey, the last Super Bowl, the 49ers were the running team. We're physical. We do that. They slow it down. They don't get respected for that part of the equation probably as much as they should.
By the way, Pete has come through. The last time,
Right.
one time in the last 6 Super Bowls that a team was favored by more than a field goal was the Rams in 56,
Wow.
-4 against the Bengals,
Wow.
and did not cover.
Interesting.
Who remembers the time when every Super Bowl was a blowout and
Right.
it was boring?
Yeah.
And it was
Right.
like, we spend this whole season
What's up,
watching
AK,
these
on the
games.
shelf of being old
yeah,
people?
We watch it. Yeah, thanks.
We're all
and
right,
Shireen
getting
too.
close.
Shireen, she's older than me. And so by 3 months. And then it changed. And I think it changed with Super Bowl
Right.
25.
Right.
When your buddy Jeff Hostetler
Right.
overcame shoes full of shaving cream
But then it didn't
that you
really
put
change
in there.
Because then we went to the next few were the Redskins over the Bills, the Cowboys over
True.
the Bills
True.
again, right?
And then the 49ers doing what they did to the Chargers. Yeah.
Right? So we lost, that was one, but I guess it was late 90s maybe.
But it was the exception to get a great game. Now it seems like the exception is to get a blowout.
Right. No, I expect this game to go down to the edge. And this is where the game is scary, in my opinion, is I don't know if it's going to be – it could be high scoring or low scoring. I could see both teams kind of cracking the code on the other. I could see both defenses doing the same to the offense. As far as over/under 20-17 game, 38-35 game, I think they could go either way in a lot of ways because of the matchup and some things you could bring up.
Mahomes is 9-3 in his career and 10-1-1 against the spread as an underdog, 3-0 in the postseason as an underdog, and he's an underdog for 3 straight games since his first 3 starts of his career in 2018. He is now an underdog for 3 games in a row. And he says he doesn't care about it. As you would say, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Right, exactly.
He says he's not thinking
Birmingham.
about, there we go. He's not thinking about catching Tom Brady.
Right.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Right.
We know what he's thinking. We know what he wants to do. And this fact that he's an underdog gives him a little extra. It gives him a little more. And not that he needs it, but it's there.
Yeah, he's a junkie. He's a junkie, and all right, maybe Michael Jordan was at the gym and, gambling and playing cards and doing all that. Mahomes is the junkie, and he's at the gym working out, throwing footballs, watching everything on TV and drinking some beers while he's doing it a little bit. That seems like what Mahomes is a little. That's who he is. He's obsessed with it. And I think he embraces it to a way where it gives him no pressure. And that's where I think he's special, right? We've never seen anybody come into the league and the team just goes, carry us. You got us, and take us to Super Bowls. Forget the rest of us, and we'll just go from there. That's what's insane about Mahomes, win or lose. It's insane. It really is what we're watching.
A couple of stats that are favorable to the 49ers' efforts to win this Super Bowl. The last 4 defending champions who have made it back to the Super Bowl are 1-3 straight up and 0-4 against the spread. The Patriots are the last team to come back and win the Super Bowl after winning the Super Bowl. Usually you come back and lose, at least the recent trend
exactly,
is.
Right.
So obviously the Chiefs win it last year. They're back again.
Yeah.
That maybe helps the 49ers, although I just don't think it matters because this is the opportunity for Mahomes to get to number 3. I think that's all that matters in all of this. This is the easiest analysis I've ever done in my life. Patrick Mahomes has that 3rd ring just sitting there smiling at him.
I hear you, but life has taught us lessons there too, where we got to be careful about thinking like that. I know.
I learned that lesson on Christmas Day.
That's right. Football especially, it only takes one stupid play. If you want to talk about turning points of a football game, first off, a very even football game where even though you're saying these things about Mahomes and the Chiefs, and I agree with so much of what you're saying, right? I still think it's we win by 3? We win by 4? right? I mean, that's all we're talking about. And Mahomes and the Chiefs, as you talk about with playing with your food or whatever else, hey, they did have dumb shit disease for a while this year, right? I mean, they were doing like every week. I mean, every week it was like, are you kidding me? You can't catch, you can't line up right, stupid penalty. I mean, nobody can catch. Chubbs, I called him Chubbs Tony, R.I.P. to Chubbs out there, right?
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers just passed away, right? But they couldn't catch a cold. So that's what scares me still a little bit about the Chiefs as well.
After the season opener against the Lions, Chris started calling Kadarius Toney Chubbs Peterson, the character played by Carl Weathers in Happy Gilmore, because he was playing like his hand was made out of wood.
Right.
So,
right.
And I don't even know that Tony's going to play. I don't even know he's going to play.
No, they're trying to keep Tony away. They're like, please, like, don't blow up the situation, but stay over there and just, like, maybe you'll play. Just be quiet. That's what they're trying to do with Tony right now.
The 49ers have been favored in every game they played this season. The 98 Broncos were the last team to be favored in every game and win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And you have not picked against them once this year. You have picked the 49ers every damn week.
I know.
So you can't stop now.
I don't think I'm planning on it.
All right, well, I'm just checking.
But I'm damn nervous about it. I've been, like, flipping and flopping and everywhere on it. I really have. The fact that, like, I learned that I did that, right, not long ago, like about 3 hours ago, and I was like, damn, there's a sign from the universe right there. I might just have to do it, right?
You might have to stick with it or
I might have to stick with it.
All right.
Because I'm with you in all the other things. My brain, Mahomes, the Chiefs, everything. It scares me to death. Scares me for my friend, like I've been telling you all week.
Well, and one thing we know about football, it comes down to a handful of moments, plays. Who makes the big catch at the right time?
Right.
Which way does the ball bounce? When it gets batted at the line of scrimmage.
That's what I'm saying. With the Chiefs, sometimes they do that.
The Christmas night game.
Right.
Brock Purdy, the one interception, the first one was his fault. The rest of them, the ball gets hit.
Tremendous
it goes up in the
plays by
air,
great players.
And once it's up in the air, how many times do we see it just miss?
No doubt.
If the guy had been 6 inches over to the right, it changes everything.
Right.
Bad calls.
Yeah.
Every bad call that happens in a game includes a good call for the other team. That makes a difference. It's 4 or 5 moments that determine everything.
Error. No
and when you're talking about close games, evenly matched teams, those 4 or 5 moments determine it. And it's like flipping a coin. And if it comes up the other way enough times, you're done. All the effort you put into it, all the time you put into it, it doesn't matter. Those coin flip moments, those jump balls as some call them.
Right.
If the jump balls don't go your way, it's over and it's done.
Yo, thanks for watching, homies. I appreciate it, as always. Super Bowl 58 is around the corner. That's right. Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. We'll be out there all week, all right? Hit subscribe to get all your coverage as we head to Vegas. We have all the game breakdowns, predictions. We got a laundry list of awesome guests throughout the week, right, on Radio Row, straight from the Super Bowl. Tune in and find us. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. You the man. Peace out, homies. See you at the Super Bowl. Vegas, baby.